Today's lesson is called Parrots, Masters of Mimicry. Hello, everyone. My name is Jeff.
And I am Roger, and we're going to continue talking about parrots in today's program. Now, I know lots of people keep parrots as pets because it's kind of fun. They can talk and stuff like that. You know, parrots are interesting creatures, and you can probably see them in wild places, in tropical regions or subtropical regions, and they are fascinating creatures.
They are fascinating creatures.
And masters of mimicry.
Yeah, I hope my job of mimicry there was better than on day one.
Still sounds like you're mocking me, though.
I'm trying not to mock you. I'm trying to do a very good impression of Roger. I'm trying to be a good mimic, but I keep failing. Anyways, folks, with that, let's talk some more about parrots. We've got one more part of this lesson to go, so let's go ahead and get with it.
By far, parrots' best-known trait is their extraordinary talent for copying sounds with amazing accuracy, including songs, human speech, and even laughter. Scientists call this vocal learning, and they think parrots developed this skill to communicate with members of their flock and determine if an individual is an outsider or not.
大家好，第一部分我们看到的单字是 trait。这个字是名词，指特征、特性。例如 Belle inherited traits from both her parents, green eyes from her father and big ears from her mother. Belle 遗传到双亲的特征，爸爸的绿眼睛和妈妈的大耳朵。又或者说 There are several traits I look for in future employees. One of them is loyalty. 我对于未来的员工期待有几个特点，其中一个是忠诚。接着，我们看到一个形容词 extraordinary， 指非凡、出色的，像是 Thomas's doctor was amazed by his extraordinary recovery. Thomas 的医生对于他异常良好的恢复状况感到惊奇。另外，去除 extraordinary 的字首 extra， 则可以成为它的反义词 ordinary， 指普通的、平凡的。我们可以说 The magician claimed that he used an ordinary deck of cards, but I think it was a trick deck. 那位魔术师宣称他用的是一副普通的牌，但我认为它是道具扑克牌。再来，我们看到一个单字 vocal， 这个字是形容词，指声音的、歌唱的。举例来说 Angela hired a vocal coach to improve her singing ability. Angela 找来一位歌唱教练来加强她的歌唱能力。另外 vocal 除了上面的意思外，还可以用来形容畅所欲言的、直言不讳的。所以可以说 Sharon is vocal about her beliefs, especially in equality. Sharon 对她的信念敢于发声，尤其是在平权方面。接下来我们看到名词 outsider， 指外来者、局外人。像是 David always feels like an outsider at work because he doesn't get along with his coworkers. David 在工作时常常觉得自己像是局外人，因为他跟他的同事们处不来。
Okay, so let's continue talking about parrots in today's lesson. Indeed, they are magnificent, fantastic, incredible creatures. So here it says, by far, parrots' best known trait is their extraordinary talent for copying sounds with amazing accuracy, including songs, human speech, and even laughter. Okay, so that is one of their extraordinary talents. Okay, they've got lots of talents or traits or characteristics for other things, like, cracking open nuts or flying in trees and things like that, or having buddies and establishing social relationships and taking care of their kids. Those are all fine and good, but most people think that, hey, their top skill, the thing that they do the best, is their ability to mimic someone. So by far, that is their best known trait.
There you go. This is by far their best known trait. And yeah, here we have this phrase by far to talk about. Yeah, this phrase can be used when you're trying to say that there is an extreme degree of separation between two or more things. Yeah, two or more things that are being compared. You're saying that one thing is much, much bigger or better than another thing, or bigger and better than pretty much anything else that you're considering. So there are many well-known traits as far as parrots are concerned, but by far and away, the number one best-known trait when it comes to parrots is their talent for mimicry, for copying sounds with amazing accuracy. Anyways, before we move on and talk about the word accuracy, let's look at an example sentence featuring the phrase by far. You could say, Serena Williams is by far the best tennis player of all time. Now, more on accuracy. Accuracy is the state of being accurate. That is, it's the state of being on target or being close to being correct or right all the time. Let's say if you're playing darts, if you are an accurate player, you most always hit your mark. You're very good of hitting the place on the target that you are aiming for. For example, you could say, Serena Williams is able to hit shots with both power and pinpoint accuracy.
That's right. She hits them right on the line, so they get called in, and the opponent says they're out, and she wins every time. So in this particular case, of course, they can mimic those sounds with great accuracy. They do it exactly like the original sound sounded. And that includes all sorts of different kinds of sounds. We've got songs here. Also human speech in many different languages, and also laughter. They can even mimic laughter, from low chuckles or evil laughs or just silly giggling.
Yes, all jokes aside, scientists call this vocal learning, and they think parrots develop this skill to communicate with members of their flock and determine if an individual is an outsider or not. So yes, parrots don't have this ability, this vocal learning ability, just to amuse us. Parrots were not put on Earth to amuse us. Hey, look, that bird is copying what you just said. How amazing is that? No, scientists say, no, there's a reason that parrots have evolved this particular ability. It's going to help them survive. So yes, parrots, scientists think, they think that parrots develop this skill, one, to communicate with members of their flock, which is important, and to determine if an individual is an outsider or not. So yes, based on this vocal learning, they can figure out whether or not one of these parrots is an outsider, someone who does not belong, someone who is trying to infiltrate the flock, maybe.
Like a spy or something. Okay, that brings us to the end of our first paragraph here. Let's move on to the next one. We'll listen first.
When parrots live with humans, they copy us rather than other birds. The more often they hear certain words, the more likely they are to repeat them, possibly because they interpret these words as the calls of their human flock members. Some parrots can build up a vocabulary of about 1,000 words. But how much do parrots understand?
All right, so let's learn some more about parrots. Fun fact, when parrots live with humans, they copy us rather than other birds. And this is true. In fact, if you were to buy a baby parrot that didn't grow up with its mother, that parrot would think of itself as being a human being. I kid you not. I was working at a school here for a while that had a young parrot named Yuki. Yuki did not grow up with her mother. Yuki grew up around human beings and only thought that she was a human being. Later on, they adopted another parrot, and Yuki would ignore the parrot because Yuki thought that she was a person and not a parrot. So when she saw this other parrot, she didn't say, hey, you're just like me. She thought, I'm Yuki, I'm a human being. Know your place, bird. Anyways, yes, when parrots live with humans, they copy us rather than other birds. For the most part, they start living in the human world and they begin taking on the attributes of humans. Or I should say, they begin to mimic humans almost exclusively.
Right, so I guess humans are pretty interesting, so they copy us. And they don't want to copy other birds. Now, the more often they hear certain words, the more likely they are to repeat them, possibly because they interpret these words as the calls of their human flock members. So if you say something common, the bird will think, hey, that's a word that is common with those creatures. So if I copy that, then maybe I can be part of their group as well. So that's probably why parrots often say, hello, how you doing? Nice to see you. We'll see you later. Goodbye.
Or here in Taiwan, they might say, ni hao, or xie xie ni, or something like that.
Or wagalagong.
Yep, sounds good to me, and yes, they do this for a reason. They copy these sounds because they interpret these words as the calls of their human flock members. By the way, if you interpret something, you make sense of that thing in some way. So this parrot is sitting there on its perch, and it's hearing these words over and over again. And this parrot is trying to figure out what these words mean. That's what interpretation is all about. Or you could say that these parrots are interpreting the meaning of these words. Now, are they doing it accurately? Not really, but they're still doing a pretty good job of interpreting things. Anyways, more generally, to interpret something is to decode or to analyze something so that you can understand the meaning of this thing. For instance, the poem does not have a single meaning. It can be interpreted in more than one way.
And of course, somebody who helps you with a foreign language that you don't understand can be called an interpreter. So maybe you'll take an interpreter with you to Mexico, and if somebody says to you, Bienvenidos a la República de México, the interpreter would say, Welcome to the Republic of Mexico, etc. That's what an interpreter does. But here, interpret just means they kind of understand that these words are the calls or the songs of their human flock members. Of course, birds have different songs or calls that identify them as their species. And some parrots can build up a vocabulary of about 1,000 words. So build up here just means to accumulate or to amass a vocabulary. They can have all these words in their mind so they know what they mean and they can use them in certain situations. But how much do parrots actually understand? Some people say that parrots know how to use those words in a conversation. Other people just say, they're just repeating them. They don't really know anything.
Yeah, they might not know the meaning of the words, but they've done a pretty good job of interpreting what these words are used for. No, they don't know why people say hello, but they know that people do, and they think of these words like hello, as calls between human flock members that these human flock members use to communicate. So, do these parrots understand? Not really, I don't think, but they've done quite a good job of interpreting things, and apparently they can build up quite the vocabulary as well. So maybe they aren't super smart, but hey, there are some people out there that I know that don't have a vocabulary of 1,000 words, so some of these parrots are putting people I know to shame. All right, folks, with that, it is time for us to take a break, but don't go away. When we come back, we're going to wrap up our article on parrots.
In English, to parrot means to repeat something without comprehending the meaning. Is this really what parrots do, or do they understand the words they use? So far, there is no consensus on this, but one parrot called Alex was trained to count and identify an object's color and shape. Other parrots have been able to vary the phrases they say according to the context, which suggests a degree of comprehension. Before Alex died, he looked at his trainer and said, "You be good. See you tomorrow. I love you." Alex, at the very least, knew how to bid someone good night.
第三部分我们看到动词 comprehend 有理解、领悟之意。例如 Austin found music theory easy to comprehend, so he studied to become a music teacher. Austin 觉得乐理不难理解，所以他研读后成了音乐老师。另外，补充 comprehend 的名词 comprehension comprehension 我们可以说 This exam will test your comprehension of what we learned in class. 这个考试会测验我们对课堂内容学习的理解。最后，我们看到单字 consensus 这个字为名词，用来指共识、一致看法，常常使用 consensus on or about 加名词来表示对点点点的共识。举例来说，It would be nice to come to a consensus on this issue before we break for lunch. 如果我们在午休前对这个问题有所共识，就太好了。另外，补充一个 consensus 的片语，可以用 reach a consensus 来表示达成共识。所以我们可以说，Today's meeting ended without reaching a consensus, so we're going to have another meeting next week. 今天的会议我们没有达成共识就结束了，所以我们下星期要再开一次会。
Okay, here's the final paragraph for today's lesson. It says, in English, to parrot means to repeat something without comprehending the meaning. Indeed, that is the meaning of this word, parrot. Don't parrot everything I say. Although I should say it's not as common as other words. We would say don't copy everything I'm saying or don't repeat everything I'm saying. But parrot here does mean to repeat something, but you don't really understand what it means. Sometimes babies do this. They hear a sound and they just repeat it, even though they may not know what it means.
There you go. They don't understand the meaning or comprehend the meaning. They're just parroting their parents. They're copying the sounds that are being made without understanding them or comprehending them. So here, people believe parrots don't really understand language. They're just capable of mimicking the sounds that people make. Yeah, they can repeat something, but do they comprehend the meaning of what they're saying? Not really. Now, is this really what parrots do? Do parrots parrot? Or do they understand the words they use? Now, so far, there's no consensus. There's no broad agreement on this. But one parrot called Alex was trained to count and identify an object's color and shape. By the way, here, if you identify something, you figure out what something is or who someone is. By the way, I don't know if it was Alex, the smart parrot, that did this, but one time they were showing a parrot pictures of fruits, okay? And they showed them an apple, and they showed them a banana. And after a while, the parrot figured things out. When he saw an apple, he'd say apple. And when he saw a picture of a banana, he'd say banana. Then the scientists took it up another notch. One day, instead of showing only pictures of apples and bananas, they showed this particular parrot a picture of a mango. And it was very interesting what the parrot said next. The parrot saw the mango and said, banapple.
Ooh, that's very clever. It kind of mixed the two together. So, indeed, still, there is no consensus on this, whether the parrots are simply repeating things or whether they know what those words mean.
But there is something going on upstairs.
Indeed. The lights are on and somebody is home. So moving on here, it says, other parrots have been able to vary the phrases they say according to the context, which suggests a degree of comprehension. So, yes, that's according to the context, which is 内容 in Chinese. So they vary what they say according to the different situations, the different context. So I guess it would be like your example there of the mango. That's a different context. So they kind of, or this particular parrot, changed what he was saying to try to fit the situation. So, hey, the next time I see a mango, I think I'll call it a banapple.
You do that, Roger. You do that. Anyways, before we move on, yes, let's talk about this word context. Context is a lot like setting, or a lot like the word setting, I should say. Yeah, when we're talking about the context of something, we're talking about the circumstances that allow something to be understood. Maybe the meaning of something wasn't clear, but once you put that into context, you could understand it. For example, you could say, I won't know what that statement means until you tell me the context in which it was said. Very often, by the way, you can use things called context clues to figure out the meaning of a new, hard, or unfamiliar word. The words around that word, the context in which that word is found there, can help you out to figure out the meaning of that new word. Now, more on this super smart parrot, Alex. Before Alex died, he looked at his trainer and said, "You be good. See you tomorrow. I love you."
Isn't that sweet? So Alex, at the very least, or at least, he knew how to bid someone good night. To bid someone farewell or to bid someone adieu just means to say goodbye to them. That's why we use the word bid here, just to send somebody away or say goodbye to them. Okay, that brings us to the end of our explanation. It's time now for our Chinese teacher.
各位同学大家好，我是 Hanny。 我们来看今天的文法重点。课文一开始提到，鹦鹉最为人所知的特色就是可以非常精准的模仿声音。那这边用到一个单字 accuracy， 它是指精确、准确性。那它的形容词是 accurate， 表示精确的、准确的。那这边我们就来学习它们的字首字根。好 ，cur 这个字根它有照料、关照或是担心的意思。在 accurate 当中 ，cur 它表示照料。那么字首 ac 它是来自 ad 表示朝向。字尾的 ate 它是形容词字尾。同学们就可以试着联想啦，什么叫做朝向跟照料呢？当我们对某件事情悉心照料，很严谨的去关注每一个细节，要确保它的准确性，那这样也许就可以联想到 accurate， 它这个字跟准确、正确是有关的。那我们把这个 accurate 的字尾 te 改成名词字尾 cy， 就会变成名词 accuracy。好，除了 cur， 其实 cure 这个字根它也有照料的意思哦。像 manicure 跟 pedicure 就是很明显的例子。manicure 它是拼作 manicore， 其中这个 man 它是来自 manu， 表示手。cure 是照料。合在一起 manicure 就是指修指甲、手部的保养，我们要照料我们的手，照顾我们手部嘛。好，至于 pedicure P-E-D-I-C-U-R-E， 其中这个 P-E-D-I 是指脚， cure 表示照料，合在一起 pedicure 就表示修脚指甲或者是足部的保养。好，接着读到课文第二部分第二句，他说 The more often they hear certain words，the more likely they are to repeat them. 他们越常听到某些字，就越可能去复述它们。这个句子它是用到双重比较级的句型。那双重比较级呢，是用来表达两个情况之间的消长关系，表示说越怎么样就越怎么样。其中这个比较级可以是形容词比较级，或是副词比较级。好，它的句型就是 the 比较级主词加动词，逗号 the 比较级主词加动词，像是 The more often you exercise, the more energetic you'll feel. 你越常运动，就会觉得越有活力。再造一个例句 The harder you work, the more quickly you'll get promoted. 你工作越努力，就会越快得到升迁。好，再来看到课文第三部分，一开始提到 In English, to parrot means to repeat something without comprehending the meaning. 在英文当中 to parrot 是指重复某事却不了解它的意义。那句子里面用到一个单字 comprehend， 我们就来学习它的字首字根。好，它后面这个 prehend P-R-E-H-E-N-D 这个字根它表示抓紧抓住，在拉丁文里面它就带有这个用心思用意志去捕捉的这种隐喻，所以呢像这样的字根呢，它就多半带有领悟啊或是理解的意思。好，在 comprehend 这个字当中，它的字首 C-O-M 表示完全， prehend 这个部分表示抓住，完全抓住，这样应该就可以联想到 comprehend 有理解、领悟的意思吧。顺便补充一个有相同字根的单字 apprehend apprehend。好，它的字首 ap 是来自 ad 表示朝向，那么后面的 prehend 表示抓住，朝向某个人把他抓住，应该就可以联想到 apprehend 它有逮捕的意思。那这是一个比较正式的用字，通常是用来表达警方逮捕，像是逮捕罪犯啊、嫌疑犯等等。好，以上是这些重点整理，我们回顾这些单字吧。
Extraordinary. It takes extraordinary skill to make this magic trick look real. Accuracy. Everyone admired the accuracy of the artist's drawings. Outsider. Jerry felt like an outsider at his new school until he joined a few clubs. Interpret. Maria interpreted Tom's quietness as unfriendliness at first, but she later realized that he's just shy. Comprehend. We didn't immediately comprehend the importance of the study's findings. Consensus. Members of the United Nations finally reached a consensus on the issue. Identify. Shelley helped Angelo identify the different types of trees in the forest behind their house. Context. To understand why I'm upset, you need to know the context of what happened.
Discussion Starter starts now!
Time now for our discussion starter. Here is the question. Which fact about parrots surprised you the most?
Well, I was surprised that some parrots can form a vocabulary of over 1,000 words. This was the most surprising to me because I knew that parrots could speak, but I was sure that they could only say simple things like hello, I love you, goodbye, ni hao, so on and so forth.
Well, the fact that they have those yoke-toed feet was most surprising to me because I thought their toes all pointed forward. It turns out that some are forward and some are backwards.
Okay, everyone. With that, today's article is now complete. But, as always, we sure hope that you guys have enjoyed reading along with us. Anyways, I'm Jeff.
I am Roger.
See you next time.